Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Storytellers. I'm so excited about this guest that we have, who is a friend of mine. I've known her through like many stages of her life, many stages of my life. And I'm really excited to have her in this new setting that I'm in. Rachel, Lindsay, welcome.
Hi, Allie. Thank you so much
Hi,
for having
hi.
me. Also, congratulations. New setting, new beginnings. This is a
Thank
lot of fun.
you. It is a lot of fun, and I'm just really grateful for your support in it because you're somebody that I've looked up to in every step of your career and every move
Gosh.
that you've made. And so, you having the confidence to do what you want with your career really inspired me with like
Thank
taking this
you.
next leap, I would say.
I'm excited for you. It is scary. Every time I take a leap, I'm like, and then I have to say, you've been here before, Rachel. It will work out. You're doing what's best for you, what you're supposed to do.
Mm.
And yeah, so I'm right there with you in another transition period.
Yes, I know you are, and I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. So you were at Extra. You're
Mhm.
no longer at Extra. You are focusing on your podcast. You have Higher Learning. You have your Bravo podcast, and then you're acting. You're an actress.
Okay, we'll use that term loosely. Something that I
Okay.
never thought would be me because when you move to LA, especially your family who doesn't like
Mm,
know the industry is always like, "Are you gonna be acting?" I remember when I came to The Bachelorette, everyone's like, "Are you gonna act now? Are you gonna act?" And I was like, "No." And partly
yeah.
because I felt like it was very disrespectful to people who are in the industry, who move here, who take the classes, who like really this is their craft and they've worked hard to be here. And
Hmm.
I don't wanna be someone who just waltzes in because I was on a reality show. But the way this
Hmm.
situation happened was, and I've always said no. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'll play a reporter. I'll play myself. But this was going to be
Yes.
different. So I had some contacts at Lifetime. I actually did audition and try out. And
Hmm.
I was intrigued by this role because I was playing myself, somebody who's like me, the overprotective best
Hmm.
friend, the one you don't always agree with, but you need in your corner, who's suspicious of everything and is very, yeah, like I said, protective. And so I was intrigued by the role and I said yes. I got the audition and then I said yes. And it was like a cold read where I had Brian reading me lines and I had to like go back and forth. It was on my phone. It wasn't even in person. I did it on my phone. And so it was a really fun experience, great team over at Lifetime. The movie's called Devil on My Doorstep. It's acting is hard too. I just want to
Yeah.
put that it's
Okay.
not easy. It is not
Like, what's
always
it
fun.
like? What's it
It's
like
it's a lot
being
of
an
hurry up and
actor?
wait. A lot of hurry up and wait, especially because I didn't have one of the
Mhm.
main roles. So we filmed out of this home, majority of the scenes. And so I was a lot of times in one of the bedrooms while they were filming in the main area. And so you have to be quiet, then you're working on your lines. Like there would be hours, like there could be like 6, 7 hours where I'm doing nothing, just waiting, especially because again, I didn't have a big role waiting for my lines. So you have to have a lot of patience. We didn't have as many cameras. So there's a lot of like, you think you nailed the line. Like, right? If I'm like, how dare you, blah, 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 blah. They're like, okay, now we're going to get a wide shot. Now we're going to get close up on you. Now we're going to get close up on the other person. Now we're just going to get like a background. It's a lot.
Mm,
So you're redoing the same things over and over
repetition.
again. So the patience, the hard work of like the pressure to say it just like you did it before, or maybe even change it up a little bit to give them a different variation, but then you don't know what variation is going to be on screen. It's just a lot. But
It's a lot.
I'm proud of it. I'm excited by it. I don't know if that's going to happen again, but if
I
I
was gonna
do,
ask, do you want to do more? Do you have like a bug for it or not?
if it would have to be the right role. But it did give me the bug. And I've thought about this before because I
Okay.
also think this is great for what we do as far as, being an on camera host. I think I'm going to take some improv classes because I think it's just like a good skill to have to be like quick on your
Yes.
feet, witty, even like with the hosting and stuff that we do. And if I'm going to go back into it, I want to be respectful of what people do. So I feel like I need to more immerse myself. I'm not like
Hmm.
saying that this is the new beginnings for me, but if it happens again,
Right.
or there's an opportunity, I'm going to enroll in some improv classes.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's just a nice thing to have, honestly, like you said, in your back pocket. within our
Mhm.
career, like thinking on your toes, like getting into
Yeah.
a lot of it. Some of it is kind of acting, like when you're standing on a carpet and you're
Yes.
like, I don't know who this is that I'm talking to, but I got to pretend I do
Yeah,
a little bit,
exactly.
like getting into that mindset. Plus, it makes you, depending on who you're interviewing and talking to, you can relate to them a
Right,
little bit if you're able to be like, oh yeah, like, and how about when you did this? Like, how many times do you have to film that line, like to get it
right,
right or something?
right.
Hmm. That's
Yeah, so
awesome.
I'm like, "Oh, that could be fun, intimidating, scary, but I
Yeah.
think it could be a lot of fun."
Yeah. So, I feel like a lot of people, I'm interested in your public life a little bit too, because I feel like
Okay.
there's so much, we've talked about this over the years, like how like everybody has something to say about everything when it comes to a lot of times it's like your life. I'm like, why do people keep like having these comments? How do you, and especially like you and Brian, like keep your marriage and like relationship so strong without having to feel like you need to explain yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say that I do feel pressure sometimes of like, "You know what? Well, let me just let them in on my life," because everybody
Right.
thinks they know what's going on because I don't post pictures and videos on social media. They always
Hmm.
forget about the couples who do it all the time, and then the next week it's like, "So, we're wishing each other the best in life." I just the moment that I even entertain it, it's like, "No, Rachel, because you have to keep it up." And to be very honest with
Mm,
you, we do live busy lives and separate, as in we're in separate industries. So
yeah.
especially my world has opened up a lot more, or my schedule has opened up a lot more because I'm not doing extra, which is like a roller coaster all over the place. You go where the story is.
Hmm.
Um, Now I have more downtime. So I have a lot of free time than I did before. I mean, I'm still busy, but like a lot for me, as opposed
Yeah.
to Brian is a sole practitioner in a totally different industry. And he's by himself at his practice. So he like leaves at 8 in the morning and doesn't get home till 9 something. And
Right.
so a lot of times, so our times when we are together, it's like we're at home, we're just trying to soak up those couple of hours before bed, or on a weekend where I'm not traveling. Like we're just like we want to be about ourselves and very present, as opposed to like feeling like we have to document the whole thing for people that we don't even know. Like we've been
Right.
for 6 years. We don't need to prove ourselves to anyone at this point. And then a lot of times too, like I go to events and people are like, "Where's Brian? Where's Brian?" And I'm like, "He's working."
It's
You know,
working.
was it 6:30, guys?
Yeah.
He's like in the office till 8 something, home by 9
Right.
something. It's just our schedules don't match up. I would love to have Brian at things with me more, but he can't take off and go to Vegas for an event or New York because he's working.
Working. Right.
So, and it's like, what do you want me to do? Go up to his office and take and document him while he's at his day to prove to
No.
you that he's still in my life? No, like we
Right.
know.
Exactly. And like just because you might have met him on television, like doesn't mean that your relationship needs to continue in the public eye. Like there's a reason that you guys chose each other,
Right.
because probably you
Yeah.
appreciate and respect that about each other.
Yeah, and we didn't start off that way. We did start off giving more, but people were so critical at the
That
beginning that we just
too.
started to protect it. And I'm not mad at people when they want to see more of us together because that's what they fell in love with. I more so get mad
Hmm.
when people start telling me about my relationship or accusing
Hmm.
me of things that aren't true about me. That's when I'm like, okay, you're overstepping at this point.
Hmm. And this is why I don't
Mhm.
do
I
this
don't think
type
that, yeah.
thing. Right. Yeah, because I was just, I'm getting married next year and I'm
Yes,
curious,
that's
and
exciting.
thank you. And it's similar. Like Rich works all day. He has like a full-time job. He's not able to come as my post as much as I'd like him to, and so it's keeping that relationship, almost like your work life is not your relationship. Your work life is
Yeah,
not your marriage. So like you don't need to combine them. It's nice when you're able to every once in a while, but like that's not you're not spending quality time with Brian when you're at the Gotham Awards, you
right.
know?
Right.
Like
And we're in an opportunity based business or career, an
right.
opportunity based career. So we have to go. Sometimes work is going to events to
Yeah.
network. because you have to be on the front of people's minds. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, to the outside looking in, it's like there is another carpet, there's another event without their significant other. And it's like, guys, I'm working the room.
I'm
I need
working.
people to not forget. If I'm at home all the time, then people forget that I'm here. The next person who's more
Yeah.
talented will come up in my spot. So especially right now, like as we're in like this hustle phase of finding the
Yeah.
next thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so what do you find like right now, especially because you are in this like you're not in between because you have like so many things that you do, but do you feel like you're in between things? Like what are you looking for?
I do. I do. I mean, I'm at Spotify right now. Like you can see in the background, Spotify.
Hey,
Um,
Spotify.
I do feel in between because I am used to doing more. Like
Hmm.
I really do love podcasting and I can't speak about it highly like enough, but I do want to do things that are on camera or at least
Hmm.
hosting. I miss doing because we do interviews on our podcast, but it's still different. I miss doing interviews, not red carpet necessarily, but like I miss that connection with people about talking people about their craft, about getting to know them through an interview that's then
Yeah.
published for an audience to receive it. I just enjoy that so much. So
Hmm.
I miss that. I want to do
Hmm.
something, and it doesn't have to be TV, it could be digital, it could be streaming, but I miss
Right.
having being a part of a show in that way. I do.
Hmm. Yeah. I think that like that's how I felt too. I was like I could keep doing I love doing reporting the news. Like it's great.
Mm.
And it's helps put my face out there and my voice out there, but I missed connecting with people and like
Yeah,
helping people tell their stories. Like and
exactly.
allowing to be a vessel because I think too that a lot of celebrities and maybe even like the industry in general thinks that it's not necessary anymore because there's
Mhm.
social media and they're like, I can just go right to and frame it how I want to and stuff. But we're important, like because
Yeah.
social media just it, nobody's like giving back to these people when they are just putting their stuff out here. Like it's
Mhm.
important to ask questions. It's important to
Yes.
ask why, and that's like where we come in. That no Instagram post is going to respond to you like that when you post like your
Right.
news.
Right. It's
Yeah.
that's such a great way to put it too, because it's one thing if you're like telling about your day or, like, hey, I've got this new movie coming out. And yes, that's a way of putting yourself out there. But the who, what, when, where, why, the where you don't have to be someone just talking about you or the back and forth, the questioning, it makes the
Mhm.
audience feel like they're with you, they're included in
Getting to
it.
know you. Hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely an art to it that I feel
Hmm.
like is missing when it's just someone taking control of their social media. If you want to do it
Right.
quick, that's fine, but like we're also kind of the buffer when you're sitting down and you're talking to us about it. It doesn't have to be you putting it
Hmm.
out there, it's more of us putting it out there.
Exactly. We're like the vessel.
Mhm,
And I think that what's been really nice for me, and I don't know if you relate to this and just what you're looking for in these like next steps, is that you're you don't necessarily have like an agenda. Like I'm not working for the man that needs a headline. Like I'm almost feel like I'm like working for whoever my subject is, not
mhm.
to like have a bias interview that's like going to just frame them in whatever light they want to be in, but like giving them space to like really be who they are
Yeah.
with the sounding board.
I agree. I feel like that's one of the many reasons that I wanted to leave where I was working
Hmm.
because I got tired of the you have to ask this and you have to, and it's like, well, that's me putting myself out there, my name,
Your
my
voice.
face, asking the question. And at the end of the day, if it blows up, which that's happened before, I'm in trouble and I'm your scapegoat for what happened. And so
Hmm.
I just was like, I don't, there's a reason that now in the industry, celebrities don't want to talk so much to publications because they're very aware. I've had actors tell me, like, we know who to talk to and who not to. Like, we know when people have an agenda. And
Right.
it's like, let's just get back to the Q&A of it all. I truly feel like when you care about the subject matter and what they're talking about and their artistry and their craft or whatever it may be, the other stuff just comes out because people get comfortable and they just start talking to you.
They talk.
It happens a lot in podcasting because it's more long
Yes.
form.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that people just open up, they're just having a good time. They forget
Right.
that they're
They
right.
forget and they break news. And it's so funny. I had a publicist friend who, when I was thinking about starting Storytellers, she was like, yes, she goes, I have one client. She calls me the other day. She goes, I can't go on podcasts anymore. She goes, I keep talking about my sex life. And she's like, and I can't help it. She's like, I just get comfortable and I start
Yeah.
talking about it. It's always a headline. And but it's not like purposeful. She's not like lady gang. They're not asking about it. She just
Right.
feels comfortable. And it's and then they don't care because they're like, I was comfortable, I was having fun, and I said it. And it's not like a nasty thing where you have like 3 minutes with somebody on camera and you have to ask the questions that you're being
Right.
told to ask because you need a
Right.
headline and it's like riding on that.
Right. Those days are over, which is why you're
Yeah.
seeing a lot of like, the entertainment magazine world look different.
Yeah. And more people are enjoying everyone. The world is so scary and crummy and icky. Like people from their favorite celebrities, they want positive news and
Right.
just like good vibes, I think.
Right.
And like I mean, Storytellers is like a how I built this. Like I want to know like what makes you wake up every day and like get back to work, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so does
No,
everyone else.
I agree. But that's what it is. It's like when you said everyone else, it's like we're just like everyone else. Like what makes you? Like what motivates you? I love that.
Yeah. So tell me, what does get you up every day? What keeps you
My
inspired?
dogs.
Like you're like, I
My
have to
dogs.
walk them.
Every morning. Every morning the sun comes up and they start whining like children. Um,
uh,
you know, I feel like what gets me up every day? Like what's the thing? I mean, the fact that I want to like I have a family and that it's yes, it's me, Brian, and the dogs, but the fact that I want to build something, I want to create a future that's, this when we do have kids, because we do want kids, and we have these traditions and I have this comfortable life and that I've created for my family. It's like that's the kind of stuff that motivates me. My parents who've worked so hard for me to get to a certain place and to continue to build on that. Like I think about my parents, I think about what my grandparents did and how I'm carrying on the legacy in their name. And, I've sacrificed things along the way. I gave up my legal career, something that I thought forever defined me. And it was so hard to let that go. Or something that I thought that's it. When I got that, that's all I wanted. And then I felt not fulfilled by any means. And so to sacrifice that and to take a chance on myself, to come out here and do all these things, that motivates me. I don't want to fail at that. I'm motivated by the people. I'm motivated by the fact that I was on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, had a platform. And I've said this before that I truly believe that I was given this platform for a purpose. And so I feel motivated to continue to use what was given to me, to be the first of something, one out of thousands that was chosen. I feel the pressure of like, okay, how do I continue, to be purposeful in what I do, intentional in what I do? How do I use my platform for good? That motivates me every day too.
hmm Well, I think that sounds so like you're thinking so intentionally and so purposefully about your every day and day to day and like when you put one foot in front of the other. And that's why it was so, I'm not going to say it was easy for you to make the decision in your career for what you wanted to do next, but it was, you were able to be confident in your decision and not look back on it and second guess it because you are so rooted in who you are and your purpose and what you
Yeah,
should
I
be
did.
doing.
I think I too was like, I don't want to say it didn't work or, my plan B was to always go back and practice law, which is not a bad plan B in any
No.
means. But so many people were like, and more like my family, right? Because I was always the child who did what they were supposed to in education. I got into trouble. But I was kind of like, well, I did what I was supposed to, or make good
The
grades.
path.
It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. but I was a pleaser in that regard. So I had a lot of like, especially like my dad was like, well, what are you doing? You're not going to make money the same way. And so it was also like, I don't want to fail. I want you to see that you have to trust me. I'm trusting myself that I can do this.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and here you are, and it's incredibly brave what you did. And I think that your next steps are going to be so fulfilling to like that purpose that you wake up every day to, because if you weren't feeling it, it wasn't right for you, you
That's
know?
and that's what led me to not, have the job at Extra anymore. I spent 3 years there. It didn't feel the same of when I had started or even like
Hmm.
in the last year. So for me, I was not happy. I'd
Right.
go to work and I'd be like, oh, I loved the people that I worked with, but most of them, but I just didn't feel it the same way. And and I guess that's how I self check. The moment I start to not
Hmm.
feel like myself, then something's like, this isn't, I don't need to be in this. I need to
Red
remove
alarm.
myself from it before it totally consumes me. And I
Hmm.
felt like I was suffocating in that job and I needed to step away. And like people could tell, I mean, I stepped away and I went to Europe, so that helped. And when I
Hmm.
came back, I totally was eat, pray, love, whatever it is. I was totally that. I've been
Yeah.
Zen ever since I've come back. And I'm a person who struggles with control. I need to control everything in every way. And that's a daily struggle. I have to talk to myself
Hmm.
all the time to not.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm learning to sit in being uncomfortable because I'm uncomfortable that I don't have multiple jobs.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm like, it's okay. Maybe I'm supposed to be learning something else right now. Maybe I'm
Right.
supposed to be just relishing in the fact that I do have more time and I can spend more time with friends and family and catch up on all these other things and
Hmm.
be more at home. And so I'm learning like, okay, just take your time, settle
Yep.
into things. They will happen when they happen. But again, I got to wake up every day and remind myself that.
Yep. And sometimes it's a total fake it till you make it. And
Yes.
smile through the pain a little bit and just be like, yep, all's good until it's like really good and
Yeah.
you're in it. But I think
Yeah.
it's a great lesson to like anybody who's listening to, in even just like relationships. If you're uncomfortable in a relationship, if you're uncomfortable in anything, if you're like alarms are going off, you need to act on it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't just
Assess the
continue to
situation
combust.
and act. Yes.
And act on it. And it's really brave. And you see like the perfect job or the perfect relationship and you're like, wow, but there's a reason to it all.
Hmm.
And so I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see
Thank
what is
you.
next for you. Tell
Thank
us
you.
all where we can follow you. I know where, but tell the fans.
Okay, you can follow me at the Rach Lindsay, TheRachLindsay, on all social media platforms. You can check out my podcast. New episodes drop for higher learning every Tuesday and Friday, for Morally Corrupt every Friday. And then if you want to know more about me, you can still get my book, Miss Me With That, or you can read my fiction novel called Real Love.
Rachel, thank you so much. You are amazing. I'm so grateful to call you a friend. Thank you for coming and being a storyteller today.
Thank you so much for having me.